Good evening, dear spectators. Tonight's guest of TV of the Serbian Republic, Studio Sarajevo, is Mr. Vuk Jovanovic, a journalist who has been living for 8 years in the United States, and he's well known to TV spectators too. Good evening and welcome. Good evening. It is a great honor for me to be your guest here. You have made already 5 movies on the topic of war. One of them, that the Belgrade audience had the possibility to see, is 10 times repeated truth, which is in fact the story of national chauvinism. The movie was made in 1992, and among the well-known movies is Genocide, the first and second part, etc. And tonight you have come here with a new movie. All the time that you are in the States, you were able to follow the media war. Had it ever happened that something which is treated in media in one way in the United States is then changed? Yes, you are right. This happened in 2 events, in 2 different countries. The first time it happened in Romania, after the fall of the Ceausescu regime. And you see, what I'm looking and what I'm trying to present with my perception is in fact that journalism has to be always objective. We saw the situation in Romania and the fall of Ceausescu, but it was done from a different angle, an imaginative angle, a whole set of horrible details, something which was not realistic. And what was very interesting in the States, one of the best U.S. journalists, Ted Koppel from ABC, after 1 month of reporting from Romania, he said, "Dear spectators, Ted Koppel in Nightline, I'm sorry, but I have lied to you for 1 month because I have been lied to. But I will show you now the real picture." And then he started to show it from another angle, with another camera, which was not shown, just to show how the bodies were transported from one part to the other, from one house of Securitate, everywhere where he has been taken and where he was manipulated. So it was a shock in the States that after one way in which it was presented, everything was presented in the same way, suddenly a great American journalist said, "I have lied to you." I said that there is a second case, and the second case is where I still hope that maybe the movie that we will see tonight on your program will contribute to it, and it is a particular case when in the war between Iraq and the United States, a public relations company that I will mention, Newton, was engaged by Kuwait. They have taken the daughter of the ambassador of Kuwait in the United States, who even said to the U.S. Congress that she saw personally how the Iraqis in Kuwait, in the department for small babies, in the incubator, they have taken out the plugs. Certainly, the United States is well known by the fact that it is very sentimental towards children, and this small story created a great animosity. Even President Bush, before the attack, has taken this story as a motto and had the full support of media to attack Iraq. Certainly, I would not justify the war in Iraq, and certainly there were certain things which shouldn't have happened, but we are speaking only about objectivity of journalism. This is an ethical category which should be objective and which should always explain to the spectators what is happening and how it had happened. What happened in the States? One of the 60 Minutes program of the US TV, CBS program, has simply published a story which was a shocking one, namely that this public relations company has engaged the daughter of the ambassador, because this corresponded to everybody, because she spoke perfect English, she was well-looking, she was a good actress, and the whole story was something which has been shown for nearly a month over all TV screens, which created also another opinion. But what is also interesting, my dear colleague, is that nobody, neither sued this public relations company nor CNN, ever apologized to the spectators for doing these things. And my idea is that in this war here, and I will try to present some arguments, particularly concerning things which I consider not correct, and I would leave to the spectators to decide what is happening in this war now. Just here, the war in which we are now in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The title of your new movie that our spectators will see, maybe it is good that just to tell them that they turn on their videos, is that time is needed for the truth. What is the topic of your film? There were several motives why I made this movie. First, we are living in a specific time. If this case with the daughter of the Kuwait ambassador was only one small segment, maybe because of this new world order which is being introduced now, there is an absolutely different way of presenting the truth. And there is an awful satanization of the Serbia through brilliantly made programs who are bombing the spectators daily. And we in the States, we are living in the awful state of propaganda where we are attacked permanently. And certainly money is standing behind this propaganda. Yes, of course, that's what I'm speaking about. This is a category which exists in the States. It is well known. The United States are well known as having the lobby as a category in all sorts of human life, and I had the opportunity in numerous meetings to hear about it. This is something quite normal. We had in Yugoslavia also our lobbying. However, we did not continue this work, and the other sides much better used this thing. And I think that we have reached a certain extreme, and that is Europe, namely that now enormous political games are being played, very serious ones, which have a specific implication, namely they could lead to the Third World War. So therefore, my organization, that I represent, that is this freedom of human thought, we have taken this into consideration, and I have tried to find the way and road to explain what is behind the scene. Well, when we have thought about the title of the movie, Time is Needed for the Truth, why did you start? Well, this is one of the sentences that I have taken from one of the heroes who will be presented tonight, and I have already said that I have always expected that some Godot will appear in the United States or in France, and in France he appeared, and his name is Bernard Volcker, a journalist from the French TV. And the second Godot, whom I will present tonight, for the first time exclusively for you, is one of the greatest experts in the world for terrorism, who is working in the U.S. Congress and who wrote a book that I will speak about tonight. How did I come into contact with this book? This is the book that we will present tonight. It is called Target America. And the subtitle is Terrorism in the United States Today. I have bought this book simply because at that time, very topical was the trial of the Muslim terrorists who made this diversion in the World Trade Center in New York. And I bought this book, which costed only $6, and reaching the page 275, suddenly my attention was attracted by the story about Bosnia. And I continued to read, and I came to the same conclusions as Mr. Bodensky, namely in all actions which happened and which have been said that they were committed by the Serbs, he said that this was committed by the Muslims. And I saw who is Mr. Bodensky, and I saw that Mr. Bodensky, on the second page it's written that he is He is the director of the Republican Task Force on Terrorism and Warfare in the U.S. Congress, which means that Mr. Podensky is a man who is a director of the largest state organization treating terrorism existing in the Congress of the United States. And Mr. Podensky is the most competent personality in the world today to provide the answer to all terrorist activities taking place in Europe, because they are reflected in the United States too, so that I have taken this book and I wanted to present it tonight to these viewers. And I do hope that you, dear spectators, you are watching something that you have never seen before. We thought that something like this may happen, but this book starts, and I think, dear colleagues, that this is just the beginning. It is a sort of Walkergate. We have called it Walkergate according to the French journalist Walker, who is also one of the heroes of our program. So please, let's start with the movie. In this regard, I know of no finer expert capable of unraveling and explaining the intricacies of U.S. and foreign terrorism than Joseph Bodensky. For more than 4 years, Joseph Bodensky has been director of the House Republican Task Force on Terrorism and Unconventional Warfare, of which I am the chairman. Mr. Bodensky's often controversial research reports have proved to be, unfortunately, all too accurate in predicting and assessing terrorist activities and threats against America and its allies. This is why I believe it is vital that all Americans read Mr. Bodensky's book, Target America, and become familiar with the nature of the terrorist threat and who is behind it. Mr. Bodensky's painstaking, diligent research illuminates the normally dark and obscure world of terrorism. It is only by publicly exposing the threat to America and through educating our citizens that we can stop the terrorists from carrying out their nefarious plans and protect our freedoms. Bill McCollum, Republican of Florida, United States House of Representatives, Washington, D.C., April 1993. Beginning in early 1992, the Islamists' commitment to a jihad against the West came to be tested in Bosnia-Herzegovina, in what was formerly Yugoslavia. A forward support and coordination center was established in the fall of 1991 in Bulgaria. In early 1992, forces of the Armed Islamic Movement, AIM, assumed and expanded role in the defense of Sarajevo and in offensive and special operations throughout Bosnia-Herzegovina. Most active are the Islamic Jihad forces, the elite component of the movement's International Legion led by Afghans. Tehran urged and actively supported the establishment of volunteer forces from all over the Muslim world who would rush to help their brothers in faith in the Balkans. In Bosnia-Herzegovina, the AIM forces are organized, very disciplined and well-equipped. Their commander is Mahmoud Abdul Aziz, a veteran of 6 years of fighting in Afghanistan under Ahmad Shah Massoud and other combat for the sacred cause in the Philippines and Kashmir, who also participated in clandestine operations in Africa for Turabi. The Muslim forces include several hundred volunteers, primarily from Iran, Algeria, Egypt, Sudan, Persian Gulf Arab states, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Syria, and Turkey. Most of them are veteran Afghans. Most fought with the forces of Jami al-Islami and especially Ahmad Shah Massoud of the Panjshir Valley in Afghanistan. As of the fall of 1992, there were 200 to 300 volunteer mujahideen in the Travnik area, 200 in the center of Bosnia, an undetermined number in the hundreds in Sarajevo and in eastern Bosnia-Herzegovina. They fight the Serbs and train the Bosnian forces. They also teach children the Quran and fundamentalist Islamic ways. The volunteers also train local Muslims in special